The countdown is almost over, and the energy around Bruno Mars is rising fast. After weeks of anticipation, preparations are now moving into another critical stage as Bruno Mars and his team get ready to bring the romantic tour back to the United States. The next major destination is MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, where Bruno Mars is scheduled to perform on August 21st, 22, 25, and 26. And if you are a Bruno Mars fan, this is the moment to pay attention, because this is not simply another stop on a massive concert tour. MetLife Stadium represents the return of Bruno Mars to the US stage for the second half of his 2026 tour schedule, and everything happening behind the scenes is building toward 4 nights that could become some of the most talked about shows of the tour. Before we get into everything surrounding the MetLife Stadium shows, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment telling us which Bruno Mars song you are most excited to hear live. Is it 24K Magic? Uptown Funk? Just the Way You Are? Locked Out of Heaven? Or one of the songs from his latest era? Let us know, because the conversation around these shows is already getting louder. Bruno Mars is coming back, and the stage is getting ready. The atmosphere surrounding MetLife Stadium is changing as preparations intensify ahead of the first concert night. Stadium concerts of this scale require enormous coordination. The stage, lighting systems, video screens, sound equipment, backstage areas, production crews, security operations, artist logistics, and countless technical details all have to come together before thousands of fans walk through the gates. For the audience, the final product may look effortless. But behind that spectacular opening moment is an enormous production machine working around the clock. And that is exactly what makes the days leading up to a Bruno Mars concert so fascinating. The romantic tour has already become one of the biggest talking points in Bruno Mars' career. The tour represents a major new chapter for the superstar following the release of his latest solo album, The Romantic, and the return to the road has given fans the opportunity to experience his music on a much larger stadium scale. Now, after the European and United Kingdom portion of the tour, the spotlight is shifting back toward America. East Rutherford is next. MetLife Stadium is preparing to become Bruno Mars' home for 4 nights, and the dates are August 21st, August 22nd, August 25th, and August 26th, for performances, for opportunities for thousands of fans to experience the same superstar, the same massive production, and potentially 4 completely unforgettable nights. But there is something important about the timing. Bruno Mars is not returning to the United States at the beginning of his tour anymore. He is returning after experiencing some of the biggest moments of the romantic tour so far. That means the production has already evolved. The performances have already developed. The chemistry between Bruno and his band has already been tested in front of enormous crowds. And the expectations are now higher than ever. Think about what that means for the MetLife Stadium shows. Fans are not simply waiting to see Bruno Mars perform his biggest hits. They are waiting to see what the next chapter of the romantic tour looks like after everything that happened during the earlier legs. This is where the anticipation becomes even more interesting. Because when an artist performs a stadium tour across multiple continents, the show rarely remains exactly the same from beginning to end. Small details can change. Transitions can become tighter. Visual elements can evolve. The artist can adjust the pacing. The crowd interaction can become more spontaneous. And songs that already feel familiar can suddenly sound completely different when performed in front of a massive stadium audience. That is why every new city becomes its own story. And MetLife Stadium is about to begin its own story. Imagine the scene on August 21st. The stadium lights begin to change. Thousands of fans are inside. Phones are already in the air. The crowd starts reacting to every sound coming from the stage. Then the atmosphere suddenly shifts. The anticipation becomes louder. And eventually, Bruno Mars appears. That first moment is going to be one of the defining images of the US return. Because after the waiting, the traveling, the rehearsals, the production preparations, and the long break between legs, the first show at MetLife Stadium will finally answer the question everyone has been waiting to hear. What will Bruno Mars' US return actually look and sound like? That question is driving a huge part of the anticipation. And there is another reason fans are watching closely. Bruno Mars is known for treating the live show as more than simply a collection of songs. His concerts combine live musicianship, choreography, stage production, fashion, humor, crowd interaction, and the unmistakable energy that has made him one of the world's most recognizable performers. That combination becomes even more powerful inside a stadium. The scale changes everything. A dance move that looks impressive in an arena becomes enormous when tens of thousands of people are watching. A lighting transition can transform the entire stadium. A bass line can travel through the crowd. And when Bruno starts one of his biggest songs, the audience becomes part of the performance. That is the real power of a stadium concert. The artist performs on stage, but the crowd creates another layer of the show. And Bruno Mars knows exactly how to use that energy. Now, here is where things become even more interesting. The MetLife Stadium shows are not happening as isolated events. They are part of the continuing story of the Romantic Tour, a tour that has already generated enormous attention around Bruno Mars performances, stage visuals, fashion moments, surprise appearances, fan reactions, and viral clips. So every moment in East Rutherford has the potential to become part of the next wave of Bruno Mars content online. One performance can generate thousands of clips. One unexpected interaction can dominate social media. One special guest appearance can become a headline. One new outfit can trigger a completely different conversation. And one emotional moment between Bruno and the audience can become the image fans remember long after the concert ends. That is why these 4 nights matter. They are not just 4 dates on a calendar. They are 4 opportunities for something unexpected to happen. And the closer we get to August 21st, the more intense the anticipation becomes. For fans who have followed the Romantic Tour from the beginning, this US return is especially meaningful. They have watched Bruno Mars move from one city to another. They have followed backstage moments. They have watched fan-recorded concert videos. They have analyzed performances. They have discussed set lists. They have reacted to costumes. They have celebrated milestones. And now, after the European and UK portion of the tour, the story is moving back to American soil. East Rutherford becomes the next major chapter. The MetLife Stadium location itself adds another layer of significance. This is one of the most recognizable stadium venues in the New York metropolitan area, and performing there means Bruno Mars will be playing to a huge audience drawn from New Jersey, New York, and surrounding areas. That creates a unique environment, because this is not only a local concert, it is a regional event. Fans can travel from across the Northeast to see Bruno Mars perform. And for many people, this may be their first opportunity to experience the Romantic Tour in person. For others, it could be their second, third, or even fourth Bruno Mars concert. But no matter how many times someone has seen him perform, there is always something different about watching a superstar return to the stage after a major tour leg. There is anticipation, there is curiosity, and there is the possibility that the next show could contain a moment nobody expected. That is what keeps fans watching. Now pause for a second, because there is one detail that could make these shows even more fascinating. Bruno Mars has already spent months performing some of the most demanding shows of his career. That means the US return is arriving after an enormous amount of live performance experience. His band has spent months playing together. His production team has spent months managing the show. The dancers and musicians have developed even greater synchronization. And Bruno himself has had countless opportunities to refine the performance. So when the lights come on at MetLife Stadium, fans may be seeing a version of the Romantic Tour that has been polished through months of live performances. That is the payoff behind all the preparation. The audience sees the finished product. But the finished product exists because hundreds of people have been working behind the scenes to make every transition, every cue, every sound, and every visual happen at exactly the right moment. And that is why stadium rehearsals and preparations matter. They are the invisible foundation of the concert experience. While fans are waiting outside, production crews are checking equipment. While social media is filled with anticipation, Technicians are making sure every system is ready. While fans are choosing their outfits, the production team is preparing one of the largest moving environments of the night. Then everything disappears behind the magic of the performance. The lights go down. The crowd screams. And suddenly, all those hours of preparation become one unforgettable moment. Bruno Mars walks onto the stage. The music begins. And the romantic tour is alive again. For Bruno Mars fans, that moment is likely to feel much bigger than an ordinary concert opening. It represents the return, the second half, the continuation, and the next chapter of a tour that has already created countless memories. There is also something special about the 4-night schedule. August 21st, August 22nd, then August 25th, and August 26th. The short gaps between performances create a mini Bruno Mars takeover in the New York and New Jersey area. For several days, the region becomes one of the central destinations for fans of the superstar. Hotels, transportation, merchandise, fan meetups, social media gatherings, concert outfits, and pre-show celebrations all become part of the experience. The concert begins long before Bruno appears on stage. It begins when fans leave home. It begins when they travel toward East Rutherford. It begins when they see other fans wearing Bruno Mars merchandise. It begins when they enter the stadium and hear the soundcheck atmosphere. It begins when the stage lights start glowing. And by the time Bruno appears, the excitement has already been building for hours. That is what makes a major stadium concert different from simply pressing play on a song. You are physically there. You hear thousands of people singing. You feel the bass. You see the lights. You watch the performer move across the stage. And for a few hours, everyone inside the stadium shares exactly the same experience. That is the magic Bruno Mars has built throughout his career. His music is recognizable across generations. His biggest songs can turn a stadium into one giant sing-along. And his live performances are designed to keep the audience involved. From the first beat to the final note, there is always another moment waiting. And that brings us to the biggest question surrounding the MetLife Stadium return. What will happen when Bruno Mars finally takes the stage on August 21st? Will there be a surprise? Will the set list contain any changes? Will there be a special guest? Will Bruno introduce a new visual moment? Will one of the performances create a viral clip that dominates social media for days? Nobody should pretend to know the answers before they happen. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes the countdown so exciting. The safest prediction is also the simplest one. Fans are going to get Bruno Mars doing what Bruno Mars does best: performing. The real story will be written live, in front of the audience. Maybe the biggest moment will come from a song everyone already knows. Maybe it will come from a completely unexpected interaction. Maybe it will be a funny moment between Bruno and the crowd. Maybe it will be an emotional speech. Or maybe it will simply be the sight of tens of thousands of people singing the same lyrics together. Sometimes the most powerful concert moments are not the ones anyone planned. They are the moments that happen naturally. And with Bruno Mars, those moments can become unforgettable very quickly. The countdown to MetLife Stadium is therefore about more than dates. It is about anticipation. It is about the return of the romantic tour to the United States. It is about seeing how the show has evolved. It is about experiencing Bruno Mars on a massive stadium stage. And it is about watching a new chapter unfold in real time. August 21st will open the door. August 22nd will continue the momentum. August 25th will bring the excitement back after the short break. And August 26th will close this 4-show run with another massive night. For dates: one stadium, one superstar, and thousands upon thousands of fans waiting for the lights to go down. As preparations continue, the atmosphere around East Rutherford is only going to become more intense. Every truck arriving, every stage element being installed, every rehearsal, every lighting test, every backstage movement, every new fan video, every social media post, all of it adds another layer to the countdown. And eventually, there will be nothing left to prepare. The doors will open. The fans will enter. The lights will dim. The screams will rise. And Bruno Mars will step onto the MetLife Stadium stage. That is the moment everything has been building toward. After the huge journey of the romantic tour, the US chapter is ready to begin again. And if you have been waiting for Bruno Mars to return to America, that wait is almost over. East Rutherford is ready. MetLife Stadium is ready. The fans are ready. And Bruno Mars is about to bring the romantic tour back to the United States. So now the countdown truly begins. August 21st, August 22nd, August 25th, August 26th, for nights that could deliver 4 completely different memories. And one thing is certain, when Bruno Mars walks onto that stage, the stadium will no longer feel like an ordinary football venue. For a few unforgettable hours, it will become a Bruno Mars concert. And that is when all the preparation, all the anticipation, and all the speculation finally turn into one thing that cannot be recreated anywhere else. A live moment. A shared moment. A Bruno Mars moment. If you are excited for the romantic tour to return to MetLife Stadium, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with another Bruno Mars fan. And tell us in the comments which song you absolutely need to hear when Bruno Mars takes the stage in East Rutherford. Because the countdown is almost finished. The lights are being prepared. The stage is coming together. The fans are waiting. And Bruno Mars is coming home to the US stage. The next chapter of the romantic tour begins at MetLife Stadium. And just when it seems like everything has already been said about Bruno Mars returning to the United States, there is another layer to this story that makes the MetLife Stadium shows even more exciting. The biggest question is no longer whether Bruno Mars is coming back. He is. The question is what kind of atmosphere will be waiting for him when he arrives in East Rutherford. Because a stadium audience can completely change the energy of a performance. Bruno Mars has performed in some of the biggest venues around the world, but every city brings its own personality. Every crowd reacts differently. Every audience has its own favorite songs, its own expectations, and its own way of responding when the lights go down. And the New York and New Jersey area is famous for its energy. That means the opening night on August 21st could be particularly explosive. Imagine thousands of fans waiting for the first beat. Some will have traveled for hours. Some may have been waiting months for this exact moment. Others may have followed the entire journey of the romantic tour online and finally get the opportunity to experience it in person. Then the first notes begin. That is when the entire stadium changes. The conversations stop. The cameras come out. The crowd gets louder. And Bruno Mars takes control of the room. Bruno's music has always had that ability. A song can begin quietly, and within seconds an entire audience knows exactly what is coming. Then the chorus arrives. And suddenly, Bruno is not singing alone. The audience is singing with him. That interaction is one of the reasons Bruno Mars concerts continue to generate so much attention online. Fans do not simply record the artist. They record the atmosphere, the crowd, the choreography, the stage lights, the unexpected moments, and the emotional reactions surrounding the performance. One short concert clip can reach millions of people who were not even inside the stadium. And that is another reason the MetLife Stadium shows deserve attention. Every night has the potential to create a moment that travels far beyond East Rutherford. A single performance can become a trending topic. A fan reaction can go viral. A spectacular stage moment can dominate TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and other social platforms. And suddenly, a concert that happened in New Jersey becomes a global Bruno Mars headline. That is the power of modern stadium tours. The audience inside the venue experiences the moment first. The internet experiences it seconds later. And the rest of the world starts talking. But beneath all the viral possibilities, there is something much more important. The music. Bruno Mars has built a catalog that is almost perfectly designed for a massive live audience. From romantic ballads to funk-inspired anthems, from pop classics to high-energy dance records, his songs can create completely different moods throughout the same night. One moment, the stadium could be filled with people dancing. The next moment, thousands of fans could be holding their phones in the air. Then the tempo changes again. The band kicks in. The lights become brighter, and Bruno moves into another explosive section of the show. That constant change in energy is what keeps a long concert from feeling repetitive. Creates a rhythm within the rhythm. And that is where Bruno Mars' experience as a live performer becomes so important. He understands timing. He understands tension. He understands when to slow things down. And he understands exactly when to make the audience explode. For the MetLife Stadium audience, that could mean a concert filled with emotional highs and massive energy shifts. But there is another part of the experience that fans are already watching closely: the fashion. Bruno Mars has repeatedly shown that his stage outfits are part of the performance itself. His clothing choices can become part of the visual identity of an entire era, and the romantic tour has already provided fans with plenty of memorable looks. That means fans arriving at MetLife Stadium will not only be watching the stage, they will also be watching Bruno. Every outfit, every detail, every accessory, every visual transition. Because with an artist like Bruno Mars, the performance is never just about hearing the song. It is about seeing the entire world surrounding the song. And that world becomes much larger inside a stadium. Now imagine the cameras moving across the audience. One side of the stadium is illuminated. Then the other side. The band hits another beat. The crowd starts jumping. Bruno turns toward the audience. A massive chorus begins. This is the kind of visual storytelling that makes a concert feel like a cinematic experience. And if there is one thing fans have learned from the romantic tour, it is that you never want to assume that every night will feel exactly the same. Even when the basic structure of the show remains familiar, the atmosphere can change dramatically. A different audience can change Bruno's interaction with the crowd. A spontaneous joke can become a memorable moment. A fan can catch Bruno's attention. A musician can have a standout moment. And sometimes the smallest unexpected detail becomes the thing everyone talks about afterward. That is why the 4 MetLife Stadium dates are worth following individually. August 21st is not simply the first date. It is the beginning of the US return. August 22nd arrives with the momentum of opening night. Then August 25th brings the tour back after a short break. And August 26th becomes the final scheduled night of this 4-show run. The story can evolve from one night to the next. And that is exactly what makes live entertainment so unpredictable. Fans may enter the stadium expecting one thing and leave talking about something completely different. Perhaps the biggest surprise will not be a guest or a production change. Perhaps it will be the crowd. Perhaps the New York and New Jersey audience will create such a powerful reaction that Bruno responds with an extended interaction. Perhaps one particular song will become the emotional highlight of the evening. Perhaps a performance will sound completely different from what fans expected. There is no way to know until the lights go down. And that uncertainty is the heart of the excitement. But there is also a bigger story surrounding Bruno Mars right now. This is a period where the superstar is reconnecting with his solo identity on a major scale. After years of collaboration, group projects, and selective appearances, the romantic era represents another important chapter in his solo career. The romantic tour, therefore, becomes more than a collection of concerts. It becomes a statement about where Bruno Mars is musically, a statement about how his classic sound continues to connect with modern audiences, and a statement about the power of live performance in an era dominated by streaming and short-form content. That is why the stadium setting matters. Streaming can deliver the song. A music video can deliver the visuals. Social media can deliver the highlights. But a stadium concert delivers the complete experience. You hear the band. You see the stage. You feel the audience. You watch the artist react in real time. And for a few hours, everyone inside the stadium becomes part of the same story. That is what fans will be looking for at MetLife Stadium. Not just a playlist. Not just a production. An experience. And the closer the first show gets, the more fans will begin documenting every detail. The arrival, the stadium exterior, the merchandise, the stage construction, the crowd, the opening acts, if announced or scheduled, the lights, the first song, the final song, and everything that happens between them. For people watching from home, those clips will become the first glimpse into the US chapter of the Romantic Tour. For the fans inside the stadium, those same moments will become memories. And for Bruno Mars, the 4 performances will be another major test of his ability to command one of the world's biggest concert environments. But if his history as a performer tells us anything, he knows exactly how to handle that pressure. He has spent years developing the ability to make enormous crowds feel connected. And that is difficult. When an artist performs in a small venue, eye contact is easy. In a stadium, it is different. The audience can stretch across an enormous space. Yet the best performers find ways to make people in the back feel included. That is the challenge. And that is also the opportunity. Bruno Mars has the songs, the musicianship, the stage presence, and the performance experience to turn that challenge into one of the strongest parts of the show. So as the final preparations continue, the biggest story may actually be happening away from the cameras. Technicians checking systems, musicians preparing, production crews coordinating, stage teams making final adjustments, security teams preparing for massive crowds. All of these people are working toward the same deadline, the moment when the stadium doors open. After that, there is no rehearsal. There is no second chance to recreate the first reaction. There is only the live show. And when Bruno Mars walks onto the stage, everything changes. The hours of preparation disappear. The technical details disappear. The waiting disappears. All that remains is the music. And that is when the Romantic Tour becomes real again. The United States chapter is about to begin. East Rutherford is about to become the center of attention for Bruno Mars fans around the world. For nights, for crowds, for opportunities for unforgettable moments, and potentially for nights of content that will dominate fan conversations long after the final note. So if you have been following the journey of the Romantic Tour, keep your eyes on MetLife Stadium, because the countdown is entering its final stage. The stage is waiting. The audience is waiting. The band is preparing. And Bruno Mars is getting ready to step back into the spotlight. When the lights finally go dark, thousands of voices will rise together. Then the first sound will hit. And in that instant, every preparation will finally have a purpose. Bruno Mars is back in the United States. The Romantic Tour is back. And MetLife Stadium is next.